We are now in Les Sables-d'Olonne. Vendée is a département in France, so it's like a state in France. They have this race around the world, which is about 40 solo competitors on 60-foot boats. And we're gonna go play around in Les Sables-d'Olonne, find the starting pier and all the famous bits. This is the entrance to Les Sables-d'Olonne. Most famous place if you like the Vendée Globe around the world race. This is its start and its finish. And they're cheered by 250,000 people will line these docks. And when they return, they light their flares and hold them on the bow in victory. Famous ponton, which they will be starting. All 40 of them will come here. And here are some older boats. These are the ones will be in the regatta. They're not the newest generation. It's a little bit like if you're a big football fan, going to the Super Bowl stadium, walking on the field. In November, a time where reasonable people that like to sail should be doing things like heading to Florida to golf. These guys are going to head out in the Bay of Biscay. It will probably be blowing 30 knots, 40 knots. Indications that we finally have done some big effort getting south. Palm tree. We have found the shell museum. Coquillage means shell. And this is a museum based on shells. So I'm submitting myself as an exhibit. In Les Sables-d'Olonne, there are 2 marinas. This is the exterior town marina, which is a bit smaller. And across the way is some type of agricultural building. This is the beginning of the big marina. Look at this kind of cool vessel here. It's the trash scooper vehicle. Little brushes running. This is a privileged catamaran, which is considered one of the high-end brands of catamarans. And she is built right here in the background. Privileged Marine, and they build, I think the smallest is around 50 feet and the biggest probably 75 or 80 feet. It's time to leave Les Sables-d'Olonne, and next we're going to Ile de Yeux, which should be a lot of fun biking. Welcome to Port Joinville, and this is the visitor's dock. And there actually looks like there might be an open space or two. On y va. Welcome to the lovely island of Ile de Yeux, another one of the French archipelago, about 20 miles off the mainland. This is a big tourist attraction of Ile de Yeux. I certainly find it dramatic. According to the sign, it was built in the 14th century for the 100 Years' War, and it has all of the amenities that you need for daily life, like a boulangerie, French, ready for the fight, but going to have a baguette with them while they're doing it. This explains the whole La Pointe du Bout, the point at the end, an old semaphore station, like a signal station. We are on the wild side. En français, c'est côté sauvage. France has a lot of old stuff, and some of it needs a little bit of TLC. Guys, paddling his dinghy to shore in what I consider a very picturesque harbor. It's time for lunch, and we found a creperie, one of our favorites. Back to exploring now. Here's Gail. Oh, no hands, Gail. Very small island, but it has an airport. There's the coastline. Bad weather is coming. Just getting past. Look at the space they give the fishing boats. Just massive space. And yet, if I were to cut over to the pleasure boats, where the sailboats are, crowded, 3 boats tied to each other, infinitely jammed in, I don't think that's great economics. I think actually they could probably extract more value from their harbor by allocating more space to sailboats. This is one of the nicer anchorages we visited. There's no swell. Good place to spend a night. This is a pretty classic beach with classic Atlantic France weather. Even while hiking on land, my mind can't help but return to the sea and watch the other boats. Only a few boats have chosen to take advantage of it, partially because it's the windward anchorage, but we have no real wind today and no swell. Very comfortable bike. Woo, downhill. Lonely looking castle. 15th century construction. I challenge you to find a more picturesque spot to stop for a drink in the middle of a bike ride. I'm not sure if it's an organized race, but there are a lot of people out jogging today. This is the entrance I did And yesterday it was blowing a good stiff 15, and the challenge was not screwing up on the huge amount of hazards. Windsurfers falling in front of the boat or not hitting the many rocks. This is the visitor's pontoon. They go double up, triple up, but we have the luxury of being on the pontoon itself. And how does that work? So we're here, this guy attaches to us, and he has used our cleats to make sure he's fast, and then we're fast to the dock. So that's the little tour of this town. I will endeavor to show you the slip that they gave us last night, which was the slip that was hell on earth. So what we have is the change of tide. If you look at right here, the water is both trying to go in and out. And then if you're wondering, is there any current here at all? Let's go look. Check out the dock over here. There was water there, and now that guy is in the mud. Because sailing is so popular in France, and we're right now in high season, they really jam you in there. So we got one guy attached to us, and look at that gap to the boat in front of us. And I can actually hold on to the anchor of the guy from behind us. Getting out will be amusing.